Hello, my name is Melissa Wangler and I'm the Program Coordinator for Missoula in Motion. Missoula in Motion is dedicated to developing and promoting transportation demand management programs that encourage the use of alternative modes of transportation to improve air quality and decrease traffic congestion in the Missoula area. Transportation demand management, or TDM, is defined as the art of influencing travel behavior for the purpose of reducing or redistributing travel demand. The term TDM encompasses both alternatives to driving alone and the techniques or supporting strategies that encourage the use of a wide variety of mobility options. In response to the growing problem of traffic congestion in the Missoula area, the 1996 Missoula Transportation Plan Update laid out goals of reducing the projected increase in vehicle miles traveled by 5% by 2002 and by 10% by 2007. The Transportation Technical Advisory Committee appointed a subcommittee comprised of a consortium of local agencies to develop strategies aimed at meeting these VMT reduction goals. The consortium, which will hereafter be referred to as Missoula in Motion, is funded by federal congestion mitigation air quality funds and local match monies. Missoula in Motion has evolved into a 7-member steering committee comprised of representatives from the Office of Planning and Grants, the Missoula Valley Transportation Management Association, or Mr. TMA, the Missoula County Health Department, the Associated Students of the University of Montana Office of Transportation, the Missoula Parking Commission, Mountain Line, and the City Bicycle Pedestrian Office. There are 3 Missoula in Motion staff members, including myself, the program coordinator, Elaine Hawk, the transit development specialist, and Sherry Lewis, the senior secretary. These 3 staff are charged with implementing Missoula's TDM program under the direction of the steering committee and the Office of Planning and Grants. So why do TDM efforts matter? Just to outline some of the problems. 1, the average adult in the U.S. drives almost 40 miles every day and spends about an hour in the car per day. That's 4 years of your life behind the wheel. The number of vehicle miles driven is increasing at 8% per year. This is 5 times faster than population growth. Missoulians currently drive more than 1.5 million miles per day, and this number continues to climb. Collectively, Americans spend more on driving than on education, health, or food combined. Montanans spend an average of $7,552 a year to own and operate a car. In some Missoula locations, our traffic is already greater than the amount forecasted for 13 years in the future. Every gallon of gasoline burned releases 20 pounds of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And 40% of all motor vehicle trips are less than 2 miles. A 2-mile trip by bike usually takes less than 15 minutes and walking takes about 20. So these are the issues. Our transportation habits do have some very real implications, including traffic congestion, air quality. Multi-lane roads that are put in change the character of our neighborhoods and create safety issues. According to the World Watch Institute, nearly 1 million people per year are killed on the road, and most of them are pedestrians. Missoula in Motion focuses on educating people as to what their transportation options are and encourages them to utilize these options. Missoula in Motion is not at all anti-car. We simply are trying to get people to think about when they drive, how far they drive, and how often they drive, and when utilizing a transportation option might be feasible. There are several different transportation options that we encourage people to utilize. The first is carpooling. An organization called the Missoula Valley Transportation Management Association, or Mr. TMA, has a rideshare database and connects carpool partners. And just a little factoid, boosting the U.S. rush hour traffic from 1 to 2 people per car would save 40 million gallons of gasoline a day. And this is over 15% of the U.S. gasoline consumption. Van pooling is another option. Mr. TMA also runs van pools into Missoula from all directions, and their contact number is 258-4944. If you live inside the city of Missoula, walking and biking might be options for you. According to the 2000 census, about 8% of Missoulians walk to work. This is more than double the national average, so we're doing really great there. Additionally, in 2003, Missoula was named a silver medalist for being a bicycle-friendly community by the American League of Bicyclists. Another transportation option is transit, and Elaine Hawk, our transit development specialist, will talk more about transit in a bit. Mountain Line has 12 routes that run through Missoula, and they also have an Easy Pass program where businesses provide unlimited use transit passes for all of their employees. And finally, there are some additional options like telecommuting, if that's possible with your employer, working alternative work hours so you're not driving to work during rush hour traffic, and trip chaining. Every time you go out in your car, make sure you run as many errands as you can during that one trip. So instead of taking 2 or 3 trips, you just take one. Missoula in Motion has 4 program areas. They are public education, community-wide outreach, employer outreach, and transit outreach. First, our public education and awareness campaigns. We try to make Missoulians aware of what their transportation options are, and we do this through the use of TV commercials, radio commercials, billboards, print ads, website ads, all sorts of things. We're trying to create awareness and familiarity with transportation options. Statistics show that people are 5 times more likely to change their behavior once they have been made aware of the problem and its solutions. So public education is really an area where we focus. Second, community-wide outreach. 2 years ago, during Bike Walk Bus Week, Missoula in Motion launched a community-wide incentives program called the Way to Go Club. The Way to Go Club is for people who pledge to not drive alone to work at least 1 day a week. There are many benefits of joining. You get a free sign-on gift such as an Nalgene bottle, an insulated lunch pack, or a Way to Go Club t-shirt. We give away $100 gift certificates to local businesses every month. We have member events several times during the year. We have had a Way to Go to the Movies Film Festival, a birthday bicycle ride, and during the summer we also have Bike to the Ballpark Tuesdays, where if you bike to an Osprey game, you get 2 tickets for the price of 1 ticket. Way to Go Club members are eligible for the Guaranteed Ride Home, which provides a free ride via taxi in the event of illness, emergency, or unexpected overtime. Members are eligible for up to 4 free rides per year, and Yellow Cab will take you anywhere within a 50-mile radius of Missoula. Also, registered carpoolers and van poolers and Mountain Line bus pass holders are eligible for the Guaranteed Ride Home. There is a quarterly Way to Go Club newsletter called Momentum. This highlights transportation events in Missoula. It features the monthly Way to Go Club raffle prize winners and talks about transportation systems from around the world. There are currently 2,601 registered members of the Way to Go Club who have logged 1,937,833 miles and have saved 1,569,095 pounds of carbon dioxide from being emitted in the Missoula Valley since its inception May 1st, 2002. We do have a website for the Way to Go Club. It's www.waytogoclub.com. You can go to the website and sign up there, or you can contact Missoula in Motion at 258 4961 to request a sign-on card or stop in our office at 127 West Spruce Street. Another program area for Missoula in Motion is employer outreach. Missoula in Motion offers technical assistance to employers interested in incorporating the principles of transportation demand management into their employee benefit programs. Missoula in Motion targets employers of all sizes and sectors and works directly with the employees to develop individual commute plans. The services Missoula in Motion provides to employers include evaluation and assessment, workplace transportation program recommendations, and assistance in implementing transportation promotions. In 2003, Missoula in Motion worked with more than 350 Missoula employers to increase the number of employees who commute to work by means other than alone in the car. Each year, Missoula in Motion publicly recognizes employers who have exemplary workplace transportation programs. This program, known as the Annual Transportation Best Practice Awards, highlights model transportation demand management programs and rewards employers who take action to develop TDM programs. Winners receive $1,000 to continue to enhance their TDM efforts and are featured in a series of television and radio commercials. Winners of the 2003 Transportation Best Practice Award included Adventure Cycling Association, Morrison Merrily Incorporated, and Eclipse Engineering Incorporated. Adventure Cycling Association won the award for many reasons, some of which are their wonderful incentives program. Adventure Cycling Association established an internal incentives program for all staff that bike, walk, bus, carpool, or vanpool to work. They held monthly drawings for prizes. In 2003, they also installed new bike racks to ensure that an ample supply of bicycle parking was available for employees. They also allow telecommuting and flex time to accommodate the use of mountain line and to encourage carpooling. And they help employees maintain their bicycles and teach them how to keep the bikes in good working condition. They also provide all of their employees with free transit passes through the Missoula Downtown Association Easy Pass program. Morrison Merrily Incorporated is also one of the winners of the 2003 Best Practices Awards, and they won because they started an incentives program to encourage the utilization of commute options. They host a monthly prize drawing for a gift certificate to Big Dipper Ice Cream, who was the 2002 Transportation Best Practice Award winner. They also have a company vehicle that is available for those employees who bike, walk, carpool, vanpool, or bus to work. They encourage their employees to bike, walk, carpool, or take the bus to meetings downtown and around Missoula. They post trail maps, bus maps, and carpooling information in a prominent place where all employees and clients can view them. And they have outdoor bike racks for bicyclists, and on rainy days they allow employees to bring their bikes indoors. Also, Morrison Merrily Incorporated initiated Missoula's first annual Engineering Commuter Challenge during Bike Walk Bus Week 2003. 5 firms and more than 45 employees participated in the contest. Another winner of the 2003 Transportation Best Practice Award was Eclipse Engineering Incorporated. Eclipse Engineering has a tremendous incentives program for their employees. And this started after they participated in the Bike Walk Bus Week 2003 Engineering Commuter Challenge. They established an ongoing commuter incentives program for staff to encourage the continued use of commute options. Individuals earn points according to the distance of their commute, the mode of travel, weather conditions, and the number of times they participate. Prizes are awarded monthly. And finally, at Eclipse Engineering, they allow flexible scheduling so that employees can utilize transit and other transportation options. Missoula in Motion is also very involved in Bike Walk Bus Week. Missoula recently celebrated the 13th annual celebration of healthy transportation, Bike Walk Bus Week 2004, from April 21st through May 1st. During Bike Walk Bus Week 2004, Missoula in Motion sponsored 41 different commuter challenges at more than 350 employer sites in Missoula, and close to 500 employees participated in these challenges.
What would it be like if more of us would bike, walk, or take the bus to work or campus? Less traffic, more exercise, cleaner air. Way to go! Don't drive by yourself every day. Try something new. Take part in Bike Walk Bus Week, April 26th through May 3rd. Lots of businesses are offering giveaways and prizes. And besides, it only takes about 15 minutes to walk a mile, 10 minutes to ride your bike, and the bus is free all week. Missoula in Motion can help you get started with your new commute. Call us at 523-4961 or log on to www.missoulainmotion.com today.
A final program area for Missoula in Motion is transit outreach, and here to tell you more about that is Elaine Hawk, our Transit Development Specialist.
Hi, I'm Elaine Hawk, the Transit Development Specialist with Missoula in Motion. I work to promote transit in the Missoula community in a variety of ways. One main focus of our program is the Easy Pass program. This is a benefit that gets used every day. The Easy Pass is an annual bus pass purchased by employers for all employees. Easy Pass holders can ride the bus anywhere, anytime, at no charge. The pass is tax deductible for employers and tax-free for employees. The tax-free benefit is $100 per month for each employee, or $1,200 per year. It's one little pass with a lot of big benefits. It's economical. An employee who purchases bus passes each month will pay about $288 per year. Under the Easy Pass program, the cost per employee per year ranges from $8.50 to $50, depending on the number of employees in the program. It's easy. Easy Pass holders don't have to worry about carrying correct change for the bus fare. They simply flash their pass each time they board. It's relaxing. Commuting by bus gives employees time to work, read, or just relax while avoiding the stress of driving and searching for a parking space. Employees arrive at work relaxed and ready to be productive. It's ecological. By taking the bus, employees are helping to decrease traffic congestion and keep our blue skies clear and beautiful. An added bonus, all Easy Pass cardholders get a free taxi ride home in case of emergencies or unplanned changes in work schedule. The Easy Pass program is an excellent public relations tool. Your organization benefits from the positive public recognition that comes from providing a service to the community and showing your concern for our environment. Any way you look at it, the Easy Pass is fiscally smart, environmentally friendly, and a great commuting solution. Businesses receive substantial tax savings, employees enjoy a hassle-free daily commute, and you'll free up extra parking for your customers. We currently have many Easy Pass programs. One Easy Pass program is the Missoula Downtown Association Easy Pass program. This program is partnered with the Missoula Parking Commission, Mountain Lion, Missoula in Motion, and the Missoula Downtown Association. Currently, Missoula in Motion has a variety of Easy Pass programs functioning. We have programs with the Boys and Girls Club, the Missoulian, Mountain Home, Spirit at Play, the City of Missoula, Missoula County, and the Missoula Downtown Association. Since the inception of the program in February 2003, 40,965 rides have been provided to MDA Easy Pass holders, an average of 4,164 rides per month. Staff has distributed updated 2004 MDA Easy Passes to over 325 businesses in early January and February of this year. Each business received passes for all employees, totaling distribution to more than 5,000 employees for the MDA member businesses. The Missoulian Easy Pass program began on July 1, 2003. An average of 80 rides per month is provided to the Missoulian employees. The City Easy Pass program has existed for a number of years. An average of 243 rides are provided to city employees each month. Another pass program is the Mountain Home Easy Pass. An average of 64 rides are given per month to residents of Mountain Home. The Boys and Girls Club is another pass program. An average of 866 rides are provided to Boys and Girls Club participants. A partner role with the Easy Pass programs for Missoula in Motion is to provide each program with ridership updates, produce passes, and provide individual commute planning assistance. We work to promote pass use through events and incentives within companies and organizations. Another way that I work to promote transit in the Missoula community is in partnering with Mountain Line. I help to promote various programs such as the Kids Ride Free program, which is June 1st through August 31st. All kids 18 years and under ride free. The Western Montana Fair Shuttle, which is in early August. The Out to Lunch Shuttle. In 2003, the Western Montana Fair Shuttle provided 3,487 rides to fairgoers. Also in 2003, the Kids Ride Free program provided nearly 41,000 free rides for the youth 18 and under. The cost of a monthly pass for the Mountain Line is $24 a month. Another option is the 11-ride Punch Pass, which is $7.50 a month. Both of these passes are covered by the Guaranteed Ride Home program. All children ride for 25 cents, except for during the Kids Ride Free period. Another service I help to promote with the Mountain Line is the paratransit service. The Mountain Line provides equivalent public transportation services for eligible persons with disabilities. Customers having a disability that prevents them from boarding, riding, or disembarking Mountain Line buses may be eligible to use the ADA comparable paratransit service. ADA comparable paratransit service is curb-to-curb service within the Missoula Urban Transportation Service District. The paratransit service is available from 6:15 a.m. to 8:15 p.m. Monday through Friday, and from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Service is not provided on Sundays. Weekday service ends at 7:15 from June 1st to August 31st. The fare is $1 each way. Personal care attendants may accompany eligible customers free of charge if a medical professional requires this by certification. Passengers may purchase a $10 punch card that is good for 10 rides. To schedule a trip, call 721-2848. Scheduling services are provided from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and you may leave a message 24 hours a day. 24-hour notice is required for all trips. You may schedule in advance for the current or following week. Trips are scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis, and no preference is given for the purpose of trip. To apply, call 721-2848 for additional information and to request an application. Send completed applications to the Mountain Line at 1221 Shakespeare, Missoula, Montana 59802. For public education and outreach, I work to get the word around Missoula on the benefits of public transportation. 65% of Missoula's winter and spring air particulate is from motor vehicles. Public transportation can greatly reduce this. Public transportation reduces auto fuel consumption by approximately 1.5 billion gallons annually nationwide. And through payroll and spending with local vendors, the Mountain Line contributes over $2.2 million annually to the Missoula area economy. A recent public outreach campaign was the Coaster Campaign. Missoula in Motion distributed public transportation trivia coasters to area restaurants and cafes. This collaborative effort between Missoula in Motion and the Mountain Line is aimed at educating Missoulians about the benefits of public transit. Coasters were distributed at some of the following locations: the Bridge, Paradise Falls, the Good Food Store, the Old Post, Sean Kelly's, The Shack, Applebee's, Fuddruckers, Iron Horse, Outback Steakhouse, El Cazador's, Zimmerino's, Bernice's Bakeries, along with some others. Anyone interested in getting some of these coasters so that they can educate their clientele about the benefits of public transportation can contact me at 258-4962. Beginning in early summer, the Mountain Line will also be providing upgraded service. Keep an eye out for the updated service flyers, which outline all the changes on each route.
Hello, Missoula. I'm Phil Smith. I'm the manager of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Program for the City of Missoula. And I'm here today as a part of this program with Missoula in Motion, talking about TDM, Transportation Demand Management. TDM is, for many people, a little bit of a tough idea to get a hold of, but if we think in a different metaphor, maybe it's easier to grasp. If you've got a shoe store and your customers are constantly wanting more and more shoes, chances are that you're well advised to keep providing more shoes. That is, to increase the supply so that you can meet that demand. And that's the way that you stay in business. Well, in the transportation world, it isn't quite so easy. As people demand, that is, if they want, and we call that demand, more and more roads for all of the driving that they do, in recent years, we can't keep up for a variety of reasons. We can't possibly supply all of the road that would be called for if we were going to meet the demand for all of the transportation needs that people want. Some of the reasons: adding more roadway is expensive. It's incredibly expensive in dollars. It's also hard on environment. It's hard on neighborhoods when we take a nice 2-lane road and make it into a 4-lane road. And if we had shoulders and sidewalks, if we had bike lanes, that's even more. We go from a 25-foot surface to maybe as much as 60 feet of right-of-way. That kind of division has a negative impact on neighborhoods and people's feeling connected. In addition to which, wider streets tend to make traffic faster, which in turn creates some feeling both of discomfort and of not so much safety. One good example that we can think of, some of you will remember when North Reserve Street was a 2-lane country road just floating its way merrily along the west edge of the valley on up northward and into Grant Creek. As we grew, that road became fuller and fuller and fuller until finally, many of you can remember, it became so congested that it was just about impossible to get anywhere at all. At that point, folks went to Washington and found federal money, and to the tune of $23 million for a 3.5-mile stretch of road, created the 4+ lane system that we now have out there with bike lanes and sidewalks and turn lanes and the rest. $23.5 million bought us about 2 years of moderate levels of congestion, good levels of traffic flow, and then we started reaching traffic levels that not 2 years forecast, but 15 years forecast. So the moral of that story for us is that we can't be guaranteed that when we add roadway capacity that we're going to solve the congestion problems. That is, if people want more and more roadway because it seems too congested, that in fact that's going to, creating more roadway will reduce that congestion. Because of that, Missoula has in the last several years gotten very serious about managing the demand side of the supply-demand equation. The demand is, what do people want as transportation facilities to get around from one part of the city or the urban area to another? Managing the demand side means finding ways to encourage people who would otherwise drive to travel in some other way. We consider staying at home and working from your house as a telecommute, or riding the bus when it's convenient and possible for you, or walking, or riding a bicycle to work. All of these are ways of managing the demand, encouraging people to think about not driving their car, one person, one motor vehicle. That's the biggest picture of transportation demand management, and because of the price I mentioned with that North Reserve project, doing roadway expansion is so expensive that we've gotten to a point now where we can't possibly keep up with all the demand for roadway, and we're looking at putting money, investing serious money into managing the demand for transportation. In that picture, Missoula in Motion is one of our lead agencies as a consortium of several agencies, and you've heard about Missoula in Motion. Their business is to encourage people to travel in some other way and with a variety of their programs and services. As a consortium, Missoula in Motion is comprised of 6 or 7 other agencies, of which the Bicycle Pedestrian Office in the city is one. The Bicycle Pedestrian Office has been around for 20-some years, 25 years perhaps, as an office within city government. Its purpose is to encourage and enhance travel by bicycle and on foot. Those words are fairly simple and straightforward. We want to encourage, meaning get people to think about it and do it more, and enhance, meaning to make the facilities better. Initially, the Bike Ped Office focused heavily on schools and getting school children to be safer in bicycle riding. So the staff person 20 years ago went around to schools and talked to kids about wearing helmets and taught safe riding. In the years since, the needs in our city have expanded considerably and have become so widespread for this larger picture of TDM that the Bicycle Pedestrian Office now has a wide range of programs, services, efforts to try to get Missoula to be a better place to get around, even if you have a car, a better place to get around without your car. We're absolutely not opposed to people driving cars. Many people find them absolutely necessary, and we won't find ourselves a community without cars. But we can reduce the amount of car use just by asking people to take some of the trips they now take by car by some other means. And as a modest percentage reduction would make community-wide a total reduction that would be impressive. The Bike Ped Office gets at this general business of enhancing and encouraging travel by bicycle and on foot with a number of activities. The encouragement end of things, we've got Bike Walk Bus Week. We'll talk more about each of these in a few minutes. Bike Walk Bus Week, which we just finished here a couple of weeks ago. And we've got activities in the fall with kids getting to school, particularly a big program on how do children get to and from school. We've got safety activity with both bicycles and pedestrian safety activities. We work closely with planning and engineering and with subdivisions and developers so that appropriate bicycle and pedestrian facilities are included. We're involved now in the middle of the transportation planning process, the process by which we'll allocate more than $100 million over the next 20 years for transportation in Missoula. So in many ways, the Bicycle Pedestrian Office aggressively works to get folks to think about how we get around Missoula and to make it ultimately a better community, a community in which people interact as a community and we're not just isolated individuals zipping around in our cars. Let me talk a little bit in more detail about some of the specific activities that we do. Foremost on my mind is Bike Walk Bus Week. This is an annual celebration of healthy transportation. This year we just finished our 13th annual. In the early years it was just a Bike Walk Week and focused on those two travel modes, and we were pretty serious about having fun with it, thus the reason that we subtitle it a celebration of healthy transportation. In the last several years we've added a bus to it because a bus is a perfectly viable alternative for many people to driving alone in their car to and from where they go. As a result, this year Bike Walk Bus Week had more than 80 events listed on the calendar for the 8-day week. It began Saturday the 24th of April and ran through Saturday the 1st of May. Another area in which we put a lot of effort in the Bicycle Pedestrian Office is how do kids get to school. Periodically I'll be in a group of parents whose kids, or a PTA group for example, whose kids go to school, and we'll ask, how many of you walked to school when you were in grade school? And always, it's most of the hands, not always every hand, but always most of the hands. How many of your children walk to school? And it's always less than half of the hands. We've done a couple of surveys of elementary schools in Missoula, and what we find is that less than half of the kids who live within walking distance are actually walking to school. In addition to all of the national data that's coming out about obesity and the health effects, deleterious health effects of physical inactivity, there are some learning disadvantages to a child getting to school without having gotten a little bit of activity in the morning. There are social disadvantages in that a child learning his neighborhood through the windshield of his car never learns how to interact with all of the different things that are in the neighborhood on a day-after-day basis, so you don't really learn environment and how to interact with it successfully. So we've got a very strong conviction about kids who live within reasonable walking distance of school and within bicycling distance of school should be able to walk and bicycle to school. So we've got a program in the fall as part of the national effort, Walk Our Children to School Day, and that takes place usually the first Wednesday or second Wednesday in October. That's one day in which elementary schools are strongly encouraged to find ways of getting their kids and the kids' parents to walk together to school that one day. And some schools will have a big table set up with coffee, donuts, and treats, and pats on the back and rewards. Lots of variations on that theme, but it all is to the same point. Let's find a fun way to encourage parents and kids to get to school under their own power if they possibly can. We try to encourage that to continue on during the whole year, and at least in one school, at Lewis and Clark School, the couple of PTA members there liked the idea and thought it was important enough that they have since organized what they call Footloose Fridays. It's the same principle, walking regularly to school once a week. The Footloose Fridays actually is an adaptation of another activity that we do with schools in the spring during Bike Walk Bus Week, and that activity we call walking school buses. What is a walking school bus? Well, picture a school bus. Here you have this big yellow bus, wheels, drivers, windows, a designated route, designated pickup spots and pickup times. And it goes along the route at the times, picks up the children, and safely delivers them all to school, and there you have it. Now, picture the very same thing without the equipment. You've got the driver, walking driver, designated route, designated times, goes along the sidewalk, kids come out from the house, join in the bus, walk to the next, kids come out, join in the bus, and if there are very many kids on the route, then you'll have a second person as another adult in the back, or maybe a third, and in this manner, block by block, picking up more children and delivering them to school. And we've had walking school buses from as few as 6 or 8 children to as big as 35 in Missoula. During Bike Walk Bus Week, we always have many walking school buses. This year at 4 schools, probably more than that next year. It's a tremendously good idea to make it safe for kids to get to school under their own power so that parents will feel comfortable that kids will actually get to school safely and on time. We promote that, encourage it. I guess a big step forward from the Walk Our Kids to School Day and then the walking school buses, the next step is a fairly comprehensive program called Safe Routes to School. And one school, Russell School this year, has begun developing that. Safe Routes to School involves children and parents and school personnel looking at the map of the whole school area and how do kids get to school, what routes would be the best routes for children to get to school, and what do we need to do to make those routes, whichever is the path, the safest that they can possibly be, and then go into work to make those safety enhancements. If it requires more police attention, if it requires more parents as crossing guards, maybe we can have a walking school bus that makes the route safer, whatever it is. So it really requires the involvement of the parents and the kids as well as the school administration and other city government services and agencies to make it work. We're starting to work on organizing that as well. But the business of how kids get to school, big important interest for us, and we're going to continue to work and develop on that, continue to develop that. Another arena in which we work a lot is with how does Missoula grow? If we don't have appropriate facilities for people to walk or bicycle, then we know that a lot of people just won't. If we don't have sidewalks that are connected, if we don't have sidewalks with curb cuts so that anybody of any ability can go from the sidewalk down to the street and across and up the other side, if we don't have appropriate bike lanes or other bicycle facilities, if we don't have trails, then what we find is that people are quite comfortably settling into, okay, well then I'll drive. But guess what? When you put in a new trail section, it's not very long before lots of people are using it. Just like with the North Reserve Street and the road, if you build it, they will come. With trails and other facilities for bikes and peds, if you build it, they will come. So we've got an aggressive program of continuing to build and improve the bicycling and walking facilities that we've got in Missoula. Sidewalks, trails, bike lanes. We work with the planning office and with subdivision developers so that as those new facilities are built, appropriate bicycle and pedestrian facilities are in there. And it's very gratifying that the city engineering office and the planning staff also see things in something of the same light, so that the requirements that we now have put as a community for these facilities generally are accepted by everybody involved, from developers to architects and engineers. Makes it a lot easier for us to get the facilities that we need. A fourth area, which is a big-time area for us, is safety, and particularly pedestrian safety. And I'm not going to go into bike safety at this time, maybe on a future program. Pedestrian safety is a huge issue for us. The Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Board did a study a couple of years ago and found that the crash rate between motor vehicles and pedestrians in Missoula is higher than it is in any other city in the state. And it's certainly higher than the statewide average. Well, we've got more pedestrians. Maybe so. That doesn't mean that it should be less safe or there should be a higher risk of getting in a crash. When we talk to people, catch somebody on a street corner, you yourself watching this program, my guess is that you, like everybody that I talk to, has a story about crossing the street and a driver simply wouldn't stop for you, wouldn't yield, swerved out of the way and kept on going. The first car in the lane stopped, the second car went around the first car and almost nailed you. You're going across the street, a car wanting to make a quick free right turn didn't even see you and just barely missed you. We've got many, 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 many stories in which pedestrians didn't get hit, but it was a close and very uncomfortable call. Motorists simply not yielding. We've also got stories from motorists of pedestrians jumping out mid-block from between two cars in a time when it was just almost impossible for the driver to stop. The result is that we have, just within the last couple of weeks, launched a 3-year pedestrian safety campaign that will involve several elements to it. First, it involves signs, and some of you have been seeing the signs up around Missoula. They're a 24 wide by 30-inch tall sign. They look a lot like this one. The top part says, "You have the power," and the big signs you see up across the bottom say, "Stop for pedestrians." In addition to those 100 and some signs that will be all over the city, are signs of which this is one. Some 80 of these will be up at intersections. These are aimed at pedestrians. They'll be on corner poles where pedestrians are crossing, and again it says, "You have the power," but at the bottom instead it says, "Look before crossing." The message in both cases is that motorists and pedestrians both have to be responsible. We're, in addition to the signs, running radio ads on most of the radio stations in Missoula. Television spots will be starting to air, I think, early next week. And law enforcement will be substantially increasing its focus on pedestrian safety. For drivers, the steps are really simple. First, a half a block prior to an intersection, look. Get in the habit of looking. Because if you don't see pedestrians a half a block ahead, you're not going to have enough time to get your mind in the mode of thinking, "I'm going to stop for them." How many times have you ever gone breezing through an intersection and said, "Oh, I saw that pedestrian, I should have stopped"? get in the habit of saying a half a block ahead. Then, when the pedestrian has stepped off the curb, stop for the pedestrian, and finally stay stopped until the pedestrian is all the way across. What's a crosswalk? Every intersection is a crosswalk. It doesn't need to be marked with stripes to be a crosswalk. By law, at every intersection, crosswalks exist. So if a pedestrian steps off the curb, that's the clue, stop for pedestrians. For the pedestrian, what are the points? Well, the first is go to the intersection so that you have the right-of-way. Second, step off the curb so that drivers know that your intention is to cross the street. Third, look in every direction. It isn't only the cars coming at you from one side or the other, but often it's cars coming from behind you that are going to make a turn. Look in every direction to be sure that it's safe to cross. And finally, make eye contact with any driver that's approaching you to be sure that they see you and actually stop before you start crossing in front of them. Too often, it looks like a driver saw you, you walk across, and the driver, you realize too late, didn't really see you. It just looked like they were looking at you. If pedestrians will do those things and the drivers will do the steps we just mentioned, we have a good chance of reaching the goal, 0 pedestrian motor vehicle crashes. Sound like a reasonable goal? Absolutely reasonable. Will we make it? We hope so. We intend to. Pedestrian safety, every single one of us is a pedestrian. We can make it safe. The last thing that I want to talk about briefly, and with that one then I'll conclude my part of this program, is encouraging safe and responsible bicycle riding. We, last summer, had 2 college-age, actually graduate school people as Missoula's bicycling ambassadors. And they were on bicycles 35 hours a week, all summer long. Their job was to talk to people. And they did. They talked to more than 2,400 individuals during the course of the summer. They talked to kids. They stopped by playgrounds, Dairy Queens, and parks, and talked to children about wearing a helmet or about safe ways to ride, or about how to check your bicycle to make sure it's in safe condition. They talked to drivers coming out of parking lots downtown. They'd come to work in the morning and park their car, and they'd hand them a little sheet that says how to get along better with bicyclists so that it's easier for you as a driver, in effect. They talked to bicyclists going in all directions, particularly looking for bicyclists that were doing things that weren't acceptable, running through stop signs or riding the wrong way. And with the message, help us make it better for bicycling. Do it the right way. We'll have those ambassadors on staff again, 2 different individuals, this summer for 12 weeks. And again, they'll be out, they'll be visible with bright red T-shirts that say Missoula Bicycling Ambassador. Our intention is to raise the visibility of safe and responsible bicycling and to get to some of the people in a personal way who otherwise are difficult to reach. That's a summary of the Missoula Bicycle Pedestrian Program function within the Public Works Department in city government, working to enhance and encourage travel by bicycle and on foot in Missoula. Thanks very much for watching.